The story begins with our protagonist, who thought he had a quiet life, at least until a beautiful girl hugged him and asked him to kiss her. But to understand how they got to that moment, we have to rewind a bit. It all starts when we see that same girl receiving a love letter. A boy is asking her out, but she coldly rejects him, saying she doesn't accept confessions from someone who doesn't even have the courage to tell her in person. That attitude led everyone at school to start calling her the cruel princess. Her name is Nanase, a young woman who is incredibly intelligent, athletic, and possesses incomparable beauty. Because of this, many boys and even girls have confessed their love to her, but she has rejected them all without showing the slightest bit of mercy. On the other hand, our protagonist is named Minato. In a conversation with his friend Kanata, the friend asks him if he's interested in Nanase. Minato asks him not to talk nonsense, saying he could never stand a girl treating him that badly. Kanata, however, replies that he wouldn't mind being treated that way because, according to him, men always want to climb the highest mountains. Minato doesn't share his way of thinking. He tells him that he doesn't like getting into lost causes and that he's barely spoken to Nanase a couple of times. Even so, the two agree on one thing. Despite Minato sitting next to Nanase in class and even working at the same place, they've almost never had a conversation. During his work shift, the manager of the store tells Minato that Nanase is a complete mystery. Despite belonging to a distinguished family of ancient nobles, she works in that small shop as if she were a common person. Minato jokes that perhaps she's doing it as a social experiment. The manager nods, but then immediately asks him if he hasn't heard anything about her at school. Minato replies no, that he's barely spoken to her outside of work. The manager then tells him that, precisely because of that, he could become a good confidant for Nanase. That moment, a somewhat problematic customer enters the store. He tries to hit on Nanase, and the nervous manager considers calling the police. But Nanase calmly stops her, saying that she will handle it herself. The guy, boasting about being the son of an important person, tells her that if she works there she must be poor, and promises to give her anything she wants if she agrees to go out with him. Nanase, true to her nickname, coldly rejects him and demands that he leave if he's not going to buy anything, because he's bothering the other customers. Humiliated, the guy storms off furiously, while the manager anxiously asks Nanase if she's okay. Nanase calmly replies that she is, that she's used to dealing with those kinds of situations. A little later, it's time for Minato to leave. As he leaves, he can't stop thinking about how incredible it was to see how Nanase confronted that guy. Although he also wonders if her hands weren't trembling at that moment, but then he convinces himself that he probably just imagined it. When he steps outside, Minato sees Nanase again, and to his surprise, she's being harassed by the same man from before. Nanase tries to defend herself and demands that he disappear from her sight, that she doesn't even want to breathe the same air as him. But that only angers the guy more, and he ends up trying to use force to subdue her. Minato watches the scene from afar, doubting whether he should intervene or not. He thinks that maybe Nanase can manage on her own. However, he remembers that image of her trembling hands and wonders if perhaps she was actually scared. Then he runs toward them, murmuring that he's never liked getting into trouble, but this time he can't help it. With a jump, he launches a flying kick that hits the aggressor, making him release Nanase. Firmly, he tells him that laying a hand on a girl is the lowest thing someone can do. The furious guy asks if he, then, can lay a hand on another man. Minato smiles and replies, "I didn't lay a hand, I laid a foot." Comment only provokes more rage in the subject, who lunges at him, promising to take him down a notch. But Minato defeats him easily. Seeing himself cornered, the guy resorts to intimidation, threatening to report him to his father. That moment, Nanase intervenes and introduces herself, revealing that they both already knew each other from a party between their families. The man, hearing her name, turns pale and apologizes in shame before running away from the scene. Worried, Minato approaches Nanase and asks her if she's okay. But she, with a cold expression, immediately pushes him away and asks what he intended by saving her. He calmly replies that he intended nothing, that he only saw an acquaintance in trouble and wanted to help. Now that he sees she can move fine, he feels relieved. Surprised, Nanase asks him if that's really all there is to it. Minato nods, saying that his body just moved by instinct. Nanase laughs, incredulous, and then, slightly flushed, she thanks him for saving her before saying goodbye and running off. Already in the car with her chauffeur, Nanase becomes pensive and wonders if Minato really acted only on instinct. The next day, Minato is at work, still dwelling on the matter. He doesn't understand why he helped Nanase, since he normally avoids trouble. But what confuses him the most is her recent behavior. That day at school, Nanase kept crossing paths with him. Every time they met, she would wink at him. She even went to sit next to him in the cafeteria, talking to him with a smile he had never seen on her before. Nanase's attitudes did not go unnoticed. Rumors soon began circulating about them at school, and Minato realizes that his quiet school life is coming to an end. Tired of so much attention, he asks the manager for permission to leave work early. She accepts, and Minato heads to the changing room to change. He thinks that at least he won't have to see Nanase at work, since their shifts are different. But upon entering the room, he's surprised to see her there. Nanase was waiting for him, even though she was supposed to have the day off. He asks her what she's doing there, and she replies that she needed to talk to him. Minato, nervous, fears the worst. He thinks Nanase is angry. However, the opposite happens. She lunges at him and hugs him, saying with a smile that they're finally alone. Embarrassed, Minato asks what the hell she's doing, but Nanase only moves closer and sniffs him, saying he smells good. He can't believe what he's seeing. Is this really the girl everyone calls the cruel princess? He asks her to let go, but she refuses. Then Minato, desperate, asks what he has to do for her to let him go. Nanase, slightly stammering, replies, "Kiss me. If you want me to let go, kiss me." And that's how Minato's turbulent days began, alongside a mysterious and cold girl known to everyone as the cruel princess.